Okay, so today I wanted to show you guys how to make this corner to corner either blankets or the corner to corner you can make the dishcloths, the little square dishcloths. So to start off, you're going to make your slip knot, and I'm going to be using a H hook here, and you're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here. Do our first double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to do 2 more double crochets in these last chains here, these last 2 chains that are left. This one, and this is 2. Okay, so there we have our first little square. Now if you don't know, corner to corner or C to C is a project made up of tiny squares. So a square, basically a square made up of other tiny squares. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn, and for each row that you start, you're going to chain 6. So this is row 1 with 1 square. So row 2 will have 2 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you do the same thing where you're going to double crochet in the 4th chain. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here is 4th chain, and then we'd double crochet in those last 2 chains. Let me just pull out some more yarn here. Okay, and then I'm going to double crochet in my last chain. Now we want to make sure that our work is turned. So you want to have your work like this. Don't do this. So like this, because you're going to come and you're going to slip stitch into that chain, that little 3 chains there. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to chain 3, making another block, another square rather. You're going to put 3 double crochets in there. So that's 1. This is 2. And this is 3. And this starts our first corner. So as you can see, here's our first corner. I'm going to do 1 more row in red. So I'm going to turn, and again, for every row that you start, you want to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we want to double crochet like we did before in the 4th chain. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then double crochet in those last 2. And then again, you're going to slip stitch to this little chain 3 space we have here, like that. And then you're just going to chain 3 to make the rest of your. So this was the first block. So now you're going to double crochet 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And there's our second block, and then you do the same with your slip stitch, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is making our third block. So 1, 2, and 3. So now those 3, so that's our corner for 3, 1, 2, and 3. So 1 here, 2 blocks here, and 3 going across. So now we're going to take our scissors and we're going to clip off our end, and I'm going to show you how to start another color. So you just want to lay it over and pull it through. And what you want to do is you want to ignore your red, and now my gray will count as my first. So I'm going to flip over my work, and of course you want to double crochet over your work. So like I said, for each row that you start, you want to do 6. You want to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm just going to tug on my red to pull it tight. Okay. And I'm going to double crochet in the 4th chain. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right here is my 4th. And then we have to do the last 2. So 1. And then this is the last one right here. That makes our first square for this row. And then we're going to come in, making sure that you're going to be double crocheting over your strings here. You want to slip stitch into that open chain space, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and you're just going to keep repeating that until you get to the length that you like. Once you've got to the length that you like, then we'll do the decreasing. Then I'm going to do my 3, 1, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 2, and 3. So I'm going to continue this off camera. I'm just for the purpose to show you, I'm just going to make a small little square. So I'm going to make this just a tiny bit bigger, and I'm going to continue with my red and gray pattern. Of course, you can do as many colors as you would like, but I'm going to go ahead and finish this up off camera. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start our decreasing rows. I went ahead and I cut my yarn, my gray, and I've go ahead and attached my red. I'm going to pull on my gray just to make sure it's secure. And now what we're going to do in our decreasing row, now if this was an increasing row, we would chain 6 and we would keep repeating our pattern. But for the decreasing rows, we will go ahead and we will just do 3 slip stitches, 1, 3, and then we will do a slip stitch into our space that we have right here. Is our space. I want to slip stitch in that, and then we're going to continue with our pattern. So 1, 2, 3, which is our chain 3, and then 3 double crochets into the space. So The only thing that changes on our decreasing row is the chain 6. It becomes 3 slip stitches instead of chain 6. And now we've done our first decrease square. Then we come and we do our slip stitch into the next space, our chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then we do our 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to slip stitch into our next one. And then 1, 2, and 3. And then 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And then slip stitch, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now if we were increasing, we would go ahead and make our last block, but since we're on a decreasing row, you would just go in and do a slip stitch and leave it like that. Then you turn your work and you do your 3 slip stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we slip stitch into the space, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And we'd repeat it all over again. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then with slip stitch, we just keep repeating this. As you can see already that it's starting to decrease. So you can just cut this off, it's extra. But you can see here, it's already starting to decrease since I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 little squares here. So 1, then we do our double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And that's 1, 2, and then our 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And then on our decreasing row, we just slip stitch here and leave it. And we turn our work, and as you can see, that was 3. So now we do our 3 slip stitches, 1, 2, and 3 slip stitches, and we slip stitch into the space, chain our 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we do our double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and we'll repeat this pattern all the way until we get to the end. So 1, 2, and 3. Here. I just leave it there, and I'm going to turn my work, And this will pretty much be my last one. So I do my slip stitch, 1, 2, and 3. Then I slip stitch into my space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I put 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3, and then I just slip stitch here, and there's my ending corner. And as you can see, I start off, and here is my square. So here's the actual square, and this is how it come out. So, and of course you can now chop off any of those extra, but like I said before, you can make it as long as you want. So this was just a smaller one. Here is a bigger one that let me just zoom out. So here's a bigger one that I have yet to finish yet, but you keep increasing until you get to the length that you would like it. And then once it's at the length you like it, you do the decreasing like I said, and then you'll have your small square pattern. So I hope that you have enjoyed this short tutorial on how to do your corner to corner blanket or dishcloth, whatever you would like to make. So as always, I am Pink Olay saying happy crochet.